Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, 3-vehicle crash in St. Anne leaves several people injured. A first responder, hotel staff, and other passengers sustained injuries after 3 motor vehicles collided along the Salem Main Road in St. Anne sometime before 3 p.m. Thursday. Preliminary reports reaching the news are that a Toyota Probox motor vehicle and a Toyota Coaster bus transporting hotel workers were traveling west towards Runaway Bay. It is reported that the Probox made a right turn and collided with a Lifeline ambulance that had been traveling in an easterly direction. The ambulance then made contact with the Coaster bus. There were no reports of deaths following the incident. An eyewitness who spoke with the news said a female driver and a male attendant were aboard the ambulance, but no patient was inside the emergency vehicle. The eyewitness, who was thankful that no life was lost, said he and other passers-by rendered assistance to the crash victims. He said the road is in need of repairs and a traffic signal.
Some youth from the side and soldier youth come out and help we push it over. Because we tell them the only way we can take out the drivers out of the ambulance, we have to push it over because the job on the driver's side where we can't get to her. And we take them out and then we assist the driver on the staff bus same way. It look like in our staff bus, on the back we are paralyzed, it look like dead. And my boy put his knee and said, boy, you're not dead today, and revive him back. So God is good, no life, no loss. And just, they have little Jericho place, but they're not too bad to that. And some of them have to cut one of them still. So just a nurse and 2 more nurse ladies, and them carry the ambulance people and the girl and the ambulance brother to the hospital.
University student accused of kidnapping and torturing girlfriend pleads guilty. Matthew Hyde, the former university student who held his girlfriend captive in a dorm room and tortured her over a year ago, has pleaded guilty to assault charges and was remanded for sentencing on October 25 in the Home Circuit Court. Hyde, 21, on Wednesday pleaded guilty to assault occasioning grievous bodily harm, use of malicious communication, assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and a false imprisonment. The University of the West Indies student was charged after he held his ex-girlfriend captive for 3 days in his room at the George Lane Hall and allegedly tortured her with a hot clothing iron and other implements. She was reportedly discovered sometime after 10 p.m. on February 9, 2023. It is alleged that Hyde injured the complainant following cheating accusations. Attorneys at law Patrick Peterkin and Janoj MacDonald are representing Hyde, while police Obika Gordon is watching the proceedings for the complainant. Listed persons of interest now in police custody. 3 of 11 men who were named as persons of interest by the Kingston Western Police have handed themselves in, albeit after the requested time. Those who turned themselves over are Lucien Anderson, Ricardo Manning, otherwise called Rudy, and a man known only as Holt. Police said Anderson and the man known as Holt handed themselves into the police on Tuesday, while Manning came in on Wednesday. The men are being questioned by detectives from the division. Still being sought are Jason Lawrence, otherwise called Liz, Jermaine Chrissy, Arian Dawkins, Andy Anderson, a man known only as Kiba, a man known only as Raheem, a man known only as Tyreek or Hittis, and a man known only as Richard. Investigators said that these individuals may be able to assist them with their ongoing probe in relation to various incidents, including an ongoing gang feud in Crackdown, St. Andrew. With the intensity of this feud, the police had imposed a 48-hour curfew, which began on Monday evening. The curfew has since been extended for another 48 hours. Anyone with information that can assist the police in locating the other men is asked to contact the Denhamtown Criminal Investigations Branch at 948-6443 or Crime Stop at 311. Individuals may also contact the police 119 emergency number or the nearest police station. Tonya's family happy with Beach Stout's life sentence. The family of Tonya MacDonald is relieved that her 69-year-old husband, who orchestrated her brutal death, will spend the rest of his life in prison. He will not be coming out back. That alone is closure for us. He will be locked away for life, Tonya's sister, Nicole Hamilton Linton, commented on Thursday after Everton Beachy Stout MacDonald was handed a pre-parole sentence of almost 30 years. The Portland businessman, who will be observing his 70th birthday on October 29, was sentenced to life in prison for his wife's murder and ordered to serve 28 years and 11 months in prison before being eligible for parole. He was also sentenced to 4 years and 6 months for conspiracy, but his sentences are to run concurrently. Oscar Barnes, the 33-year-old St. Mary Tyler and a fisherman who was subcontracted for the murder of Tonya, was similarly sentenced to life in prison and slapped with a 28-year, 11-month pre-parole sentence. He was also sentenced to 6 years and 6 months for conspiracy. MacDonald, who had appeared nonchalant during the near 6-month trial, looked peeved while his co-convict sported a smirk as they stood before Justice Chester Stamp in the Home Circuit Court for sentencing. Reacting to the sentences, Hamilton Linton, who was very emotional as she leaned on her husband, Halim Linton, was pleased. "It brings a bit of closure to everything, but unfortunately, my sister is still deceased. She will never be able to be with us again," she said with a heavy sigh. "But I am glad that the justice system was able to get these persons off the street and make it a little bit safer for law-abiding citizens. We just want to be able to mourn now and put this all behind us," she added. Hamilton Linton said she agreed with the judge's description of the case being one of the worst of the worst. "Having to live through all of it, reading it in the media, just imagining what my sister went through in her final moments, haunts me to this day," she said, recalling that she recently broke down upon hearing one of Tonya's favorite songs. "This is not something that you heal from. It is something that stays with you for a long time, maybe for all my years, and I will always remember my baby sister because when I look in the mirror, I see her, because the persons used to mistake us for twins. She will never ever leave us," she added. The men were found guilty on both the charges in March by a jury. The charred remains of Tonya, MacDonald's second wife, were found next to her burnt Toyota Axio motor car in Sherwood Forest in Portland on July 20, 2020. It had 9 stab wounds and the throat was slashed. A contract killer, Denvalin Minot, who is serving 19 years in prison for his role in her murder, had testified that MacDonald hired him to kill his wife for $3 million, but that he passed on the work to Barnes. Minot testified that he and Barnes made about 4 unsuccessful trips to Tonya's house to kill her before he lured her to the area where she was murdered under the pretense that he had secured 2 guns that she was seeking to purchase. The court heard that Tonya wanted to purchase a gun to avenge her father's death and that her husband introduced her to Minot for his assistance. Barnes and MacDonald both denied killing the woman or being part of a murder conspiracy. Attorneys at law Christopher Townsend, Courtney Rowe, John Jacobs, Earl Hamilton, and his son John Paul represented Beachy Stout. Attorney at law Ernest Davis and Vincent Leslie represented Barnes. Cocoa Peace killer to appeal extreme sentence. The Court of Appeal is expected to hear submissions on Friday in the appeal of Rasheen Barnett, who was convicted for killing a family of 5 in Cocoa Peace, Chapelton, Clarendon 2 years ago. Barnett, who pleaded guilty to killing his cousin and her 4 children in June 2022, is serving 5 life sentences. He will be eligible for parole after 61 years and 8 months in prison. But Barnett has filed an appeal challenging the severity of his sentence. He contends that the sentence is extreme and that he should have benefited from discounts during the sentencing since he had pleaded guilty early in the process. The country was left in a state of shock when news broke that 31-year-old Kimisha Wright and her children, 15-year-old Kimanda Smith, 12-year-old Shirley Smith, 5-year-old Raphaela Smith, and 23-month-old Kishawn Henry, was found murdered in their home. The bodies had multiple stab wounds. Barnett was later captured in Trelawney. Manchester Municipal Corporation clamping down on delinquent businesses. The Manchester Municipal Corporation has served a notice that come next week Tuesday, it will be clamping down on businesses that are in breach of stipulated public health requirements. Chairman of the corporation, Donovan Mitchell, says that the compliance team, with the support of the police, will be visiting the various businesses about which complaints have been received. He says that the team will be revisiting establishments whose operators were not recommended for renewal of their license due to breaches identified.
For example, I know that there are some barbers and some hairdressers. I think last Tuesday here, there were about 13 or even 15 persons which we have not recommended because they are lacking in some things. You see, when you're operating, for example, a bar, you should have somewhere to wash your glasses, to rinse your glasses, and another sink to wash your hands. And so we are checking on those things because we're getting a lot of complaint from the public that some of these things are not being done. And in this time, we need to make sure that the public health of this parish is protected. Persons just don't think that some things they need to pay taxes for. Places of amusement. What persons don't understand, you don't just look at amusement license, places of amusement license when you're having a party. Anywhere you have a function that keeps a dance and all of that as a place, you just need to have that place registered for a year. There are some persons putting up billboards around the town or putting up billboards without even reference to the council. So the compliance team will be out as of October 1, which is next week, Tuesday morning.
Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.